Hi, you guys. Happy Monday. So, got everything up. I am Alicia Robertson. Happy Monday, everyone. I am a wife, mama, and also I am a business coach, have been for the past 7 years. And what I do is I help overwhelmed coaches and online experts to grow thriving, sustainable, intentional, and profitable service-based businesses that fuels the life that they desire. So here you can find me talking all about how to build a solid business foundation, how to push past the mental barriers that may be holding you back from truly marketing yourself, and also how to build a business again around the life that you desire. So one of the big mistakes I see a lot of coaches and online experts make is they go and build this big business and they don't think twice about how that business is going to now fit their life. So they end up burnt out, they end up overwhelmed, they end up overworked. And my big mission is to help you to build a solid, sustainable coaching or online service-based business, but in a way that still gives you the room and the space to fulfill what you want to do in your personal life as well. So I do this through my 12-month group coaching program, the Purpose to Service Academy. So it's a 12-month program, which if you follow me, you will hear a lot about that over the next few weeks because applications are opening up on October 12th. But today I am hopping into your space to talk about the three big mistakes that I see a lot of coaches and online experts make when it comes to pricing their service offers. So I wanted to talk about this because one, we should all be more open to talk about pricing, to talk about how much money we're making, or to talk about how we are making money within our business. And I also wanted to talk to you about this today because pricing is a big factor when it comes to building a sustainable business. So a lot of us go in kind of blindly with putting prices on our offers, and that's when we end up very overworked. That's when we end up overwhelmed. That's when we end up frustrated with our clients, all because we are doing so much without being properly compensated for it. So I wanted to talk about the three pricing mistakes that you may have made. And I'm also sharing this from a place of experience. If you guys have been following me for any amount of time, I don't teach or share anything that I don't have personal experience from. And all three of these are mistakes that I have made over my past 7 years of offering coaching services. When I first started coaching, my very first coaching offer 7 years ago, y'all. My very first offer, I had no clue how to price myself. I didn't even want to call myself a coach, but I charged $35 an hour over 7 years ago for my very first offer. So you can imagine how stressed out I was, how overwhelmed I was, but very underpricing myself just dramatically has definitely allowed me to see how important it is to price yourself in a way where you are still being able to maintain your sanity, where you are still able to have some sort of life without needing to take on 1,000 clients at one time, and also in a way that's going to sustain not only your business but your life that you're trying to pay for as well. Oh yeah, we don't do hourly rates anymore over here. No. But that was a big mistake. So I said all that to say, I don't teach anything that I don't know personally from experience. And I definitely wanted to talk about this because I don't want you to be pricing yourself as low as I was when I first started. So let's get right into the first mistake. So the first big mistake that I see a lot of coaches and online experts make when it comes to pricing their services is they're pricing based on someone else's value. Meaning you're basically just going through the other people who are in your industry, seeing what they are, pricing at, and you're basing your value off of theirs. So if someone in your industry has been coaching for 10 years and you're looking at their rates, you're probably like, oh, well, they're so much more valuable than me. They've been doing this so much longer than me. There is no way that I can possibly charge as much as they are charging. So, or you're looking at others in your industry saying, oh, okay, well, they charge $2,000 for this similar offer that I have. Then I must also charge $2,000 as well. And while you can definitely use what other people in your industry are charging as a starting point, there are a few things that are also wrong with that. One, you don't know what their expenses are. So someone with no expenses can possibly charge a little less than someone who has an entire team they have to pay for, maybe an office space, maybe all of these other tools and systems and things that they are paying for on a monthly basis. So you don't know what those other people's expenses are. You don't know what their life expenses are. Someone who has no kids and no mortgage is definitely going to price differently than someone who may have a mortgage and multiple kids. So pricing off of someone else's value is definitely a good starting point. And inside of the Purpose to Service Academy, I actually take my clients through this exercise where after they've come up with their own number, I have an entire exercise that helps them to come up with their own price. But then I show them how to go and look at others in their industry to see what they're charging. Not to copy their price, not to, make them feel like they can't charge as much as they're wanting to charge, but to just help them get a ballpark of if their price is falling within alignment of their industry. So looking at other people's pricing, seeing how other people should price shouldn't be, the price that you should charge. It should be used to see how your price is falling into your industry. So if you're pricing your service offer at $2,000, but the majority of the people in your industry are charging $4,000 to $5,000, then that may show you that you are underpricing yourself and that there is space for you to bump your offer up or bump your price up a little bit more. Or even on, the flip side of that, if you are seeing that, everyone in your industry is pricing around $3,000, but you're charging $10,000 for almost identical services, then you either need to, come into alignment with what your industry is charging, or you need to reassess your audience. So if your audience is able to pay more, then that is fine. Or you need to assess your offer. So what makes your offer so different and more valuable to where you can charge $5,000 more than what is typically being charged in your industry. So that is when looking at what other people are charging is going to be of value, but strictly just saying, oh, this coach charges $3,000 for these 3 sessions, so I have to charge $3,000 for these 3 sessions that I'm doing, isn't always going to work, because again, you don't know their life, you don't know their expenses, you don't know, what expenses they have in both their life or in their business. So you can't always use that as a ballpark. And I noticed that a lot in a lot of the people that I work with is they kind of copy those pricing models, and then they figure out, oh wait, that person that I copied was undercharging themselves, and now I'm undercharging myself, and now we're all stressed out and overworked and just all bent out of shape. So don't just base your pricing solely on what someone else's value is, because again, you don't even know if people are paying for them at that price point. You don't know their expenses, and you also don't really know if they are charging enough themselves. All right, so the second big mistake that I often see, and I'm going to do like a little story time. This is also a mistake that I recently made, like literally a few months ago, is pricing based on volume versus capacity. So a lot of people will get into offering a service and they'll immediately think, I can get 10 clients right now. That'll be easy. I'm going to work with 10 clients. And they go ahead and think that the reason why, or they automatically think that the only way that they can make more money is by working with a lot more people. So they're focused on how many clients can I get through the door in the fastest way possible. So they focus so much on volume versus focusing on their actual capacity. And when I say capacity, I mean how many clients are they actually able to work with, provide a good experience for, get results for, without burning out, without resenting them, without wanting to tear everything down. I see so many people going into creating coaching offers, creating services with almost like an e-commerce mindset, meaning they're trying to get more, as many people as they can get through the door. And they often price their offers based on that volume. So you figure you can work with 10 clients at a time. So you price your offers super low in hopes of getting more people into the door. And what happens when you do that is, let's say you end up charging $1,000 and you end up working with 10 people. And while, yes, charging $1,000 and getting 10 clients is $10,000, but now you're working beyond your actual capacity. Now you're exhausted, and now you're not able to provide a great client experience because you're being stretched so thin. So again, coaching services, any type of other type of online service offer is not the same as selling an ebook. It's not the same as selling a course. It's not the same as selling a physical product. And I see so many service providers come into this space with that e-commerce or with that digital product type of mentality. So just trying to get more and more people. But you really do have to be mindful whether you are doing one-on-one coaching, whether you are in a group coaching offer or offering a group coaching service. You have to be way more mindful of what your actual capacity is, and you have to price based on capacity versus pricing based on volume. So I don't know about y'all, but I would much rather charge $2,000 for my service and work with 5 people versus 10 people and still hit that $10,000 goal. So you're still making the same amount of money, but you're doing half of the work. So make sure that when you are pricing yourself, you price based on your capacity. How many clients are you actually able to work with without burning out, without feeling stressed too thin, that you're actually able to provide a great experience and nurture those clients while they're in your program, and still be able to make the same amount of money that you're desiring, or still able to hit your desired income goals. So make sure you are pricing based on capacity and not just volume. I promise you, if you want to become burnt out in your coaching business or your service-based business, if you want to just be drained, price based on volume. You will be so focused on trying to sell a little and get a lot that it won't last long. That is not sustainable at all. So again, just make sure you're pricing on capacity. So I said I recently made a big mistake around this, and I didn't even realize it until I sat down and was reworking my new prices for my new launch or my upcoming launch. And one of the big things that I did within this same mistake is, for those who don't know, my group coaching program, the Purpose to Service Academy, started out as a membership community. So it was a low-cost membership community. Our members could come in and out whenever they wanted to. And the last price before we switched over was $40 a month. So it was super low end. So with the membership community, you are pricing for volume. It's not as, there's not a lot of heavy lifting like there is in a coaching program. So you are able to do more marketing to get more people into the door. So pricing at $40 made sense because I was focusing on volume. But when I decided to shift my membership to more of a group coaching program like it is now, I went into it with that same mentality of pricing around a membership community, or as if it were a membership community. So I went in and I added all of these features. I added in all of these personal touch points, added in new courses and resources as if it were a group coaching program, but I still wasn't pricing based on my capacity. I was still pricing based on volume. So even though I had raised my prices significantly, I hadn't raised them enough to where I could focus on getting 3 to 4 new clients in the door, which is literally all I would need. And I was still trying to focus on, okay, how can I get more people into the door so that I can hit my income goals? And I was low-key like stressing myself out because I could not figure out like what part of my structure of this group coaching program was like kind of throwing me off. And then I realized it was because I was still pricing based on volume, and instead of pricing based on capacity. My program was no longer a membership community. It was no longer a low end type of offer. And I needed to price not only based on the value that I had added, the more I was a part of the community, the more coaching that I was doing, but I also needed to price based on capacity because I did add in all of these new touch points. I needed to price in a way where I could still provide a great client experience and still also hit my income goals. So again, pricing based on volume versus capacity is a big reason why a lot of people end up overworked, they end up overwhelmed, and they end up doing 10 times more work than they should, but not actually seeing those results in their bank account. It's because you're pricing based on volume and not on capacity. All right, so the third big pricing mistake that you may be making is you're just throwing out random numbers. No strategy, just vibes. Just throwing out random numbers. And while I wouldn't say that there is one like set formula for getting the perfect price for your offer. It does take some guessing sometimes. It does take some putting a number out there and then slowly increasing it as you go. That is definitely necessary, but just throwing a number out there without doing any research, without actually thinking about how much you need to make, without actually thinking about how much value you have added into your program, you are never going to hit your income goals. So instead of just throwing out random numbers, I need you, and I need you, and I don't often tell y'all what you need to do, but you need to sit down and think about how much is it that you really need to make, and be very honest with yourself. So add up all of your business expenses, add up all of your personal expenses, add in amount that you need to set aside for savings or set aside for taxes or set aside for, I don't know, insurance and things like that. So get very realistic with yourself, get very clear on what your enough number is, and write that down. And if you want to add in fun money, you can do that too. I like to add in money for trips to Target, but get very clear on how much on a monthly basis that you need to make. And then once you are very clear on that number, you need to be very clear on your capacity. So going back to that second mistake, you need to be very clear on how many clients that you can actually take on at a time. If you can only take on 3 to 4 clients a month, then that's your capacity. You don't need to take on 5 or 6 clients. You need to raise your prices. So just think about that. So think about what your enough number is. So how much do you absolutely need to make each month? And then think about how many clients that you can realistically take. So let's say you need to make $6,000 per month and you can only realistically take on 3 clients. Then that means you need to start charging at least $2,000 for your offers. 3 clients, you need to make $6,000, $2,000 per client, right? Yes, $2,000 per client. So instead of just throwing numbers out there, and I'm not saying that you will ever get your numbers right. I'm not saying that there won't ever be room for you to go up or even go down in your pricing. You have to make sure that you are starting somewhere with your numbers. So don't just throw numbers out there. Get very clear on how much you need to make and also how many clients you're able to take on. So, and that's something that we go over inside of the Purpose to Service Academy too, is what is your enough number and what is your number? What is your idea of success, and not based on what someone else is idea of success. If you don't need to make $10,000 per month and you are good at making 5,000, then let that be your enough number. If you are not focused on having a 6-figure month and that just doesn't align with what you desire in your life, then that's not what we're going to focus on. So inside of the Purpose to Service Academy, we are really big on helping you to get clear on what is enough for you, what do you want, and helping you to set your pricing goals, helping you to set your capacity, helping you to set your boundaries around what it is that you want within your life and your business, and not just what everyone else is telling you that you should achieve. So those are the 3 big pricing mistakes that you may have made or may be making right now. So pricing based on someone else's value, pricing based on volume versus capacity, and also just throwing random numbers out there. Those things are going to lead you to burnout. They're going to lead you to undercharging like crazy and not actually being able to provide your audience with, or provide your clients with, a great client experience. So again, if you guys are still not too sure about how to price your offer, if you're still not too sure about how to actually create an offer, then the Purpose to Service Academy is going to be for you. So it's my 12-month group coaching program for overwhelmed coaches and online experts who are wanting to build a sustainable, intentional, and profitable online business that is really going to fuel the life that they desire. So in the program, we cover all things your offer. So we talk about building a solid business foundation first. So getting very clear on what it is that you want out of both your life and business, because everything that we create after that is going to be based around your idea of success. We talk about how to build out your signature framework, how to package up your genius into a service offer, how to price your offer, which is what this entire live today was about, how to properly price your offer, and then of course, how to get consistent new clients coming through the door. So applications for the Purpose to Service Academy open up on October 12th, but you can get on the wait list right now. So those who are on the wait list get a lot of perks from me leading up to the launch. I just sent out their first perk this morning. So if you want to get on the wait list, just click the link in my bio, or you can head to aliciarobertson.com/waitlist to get on the list. So I definitely want to know what you guys think of this week's live. If you are watching the replay, just shoot me a DM or leave a comment just letting me know what you think. But I want us all to be paid. I want us all to be paid fairly. And I want us to do it in a way that's not only sustainable, but is going to make sense with what our goals are. So if you are watching the replay, if you are watching this live, please let me know if you have any questions about this. Let me know what you think. And I will chat with you guys later. Bye.